Hello, namaste. Welcome to day number 72. Today, it's a very overcast day, very rainy, and that's kind of the mood. It's so, the deeper I go in, the more I realize how connected I am to weather patterns, to nature, to everything, right? So I'm feeling that today, and something really, I think, helpful came through in one of my sessions I had today with a beautiful client, and we were talking about how as we start to awaken more deeply, as our vibration starts to rise, our consciousness starts to expand. We were talking about how that might trigger other people, whether that's family or just coworkers, just people you run into. And we were talking, and one thing I was really feeling into is that, yes, as we start doing the inner work, as we start healing, as we start embodying more heart, living through the heart more, embodying more unconditional love, of course our vibrations are going to go up, our frequencies are going to go up, and other people are going to feel that. They're all going to react in their own particular way. Some people you'll notice, if they're receptive to this unconditionally loving energy and vibration, they will really want to be around you, and they will find you inspiring, and they'll find your energy to be really helpful to help them go into their own heart, right? And this can be a really beautiful connection, and this can be with family, friends. It can even just be with complete strangers that you have a random 2-minute conversation with in line at the grocery store, where just the place you're coming from, other people can feel that, and sometimes they can be very receptive to that, and you can feel that your presence helps them come into their own presence. Your love helps them come into their own love. And so when some people see you, they'll notice how much you love yourself, how much you accept yourself. They'll see how authentic you are, and how you're just you, and that gives them permission to be authentic, and it gives them permission to be just them, and to start feeling into their own heart, right, and their own presence. And it helps them to feel this safety when being vulnerable around you, because they see how vulnerable you are. You're just there. You are just you, right? You're not guarding anything. And so that's one side of it, the beautiful side of it, and it's all beautiful. But that's the not so messy side of it, right? I'm sure now the other side of it is sometimes, and we all can do this too. Shoot, even us on the spiritual path, this can be us. Um, I want to say this first. When I first met my spiritual teacher, Craig Holiday, in person, I was fucking terrified. I was scared because there was a fear. I took myself to be a fear pattern. And here's the thing. Sometimes it can be messy because some people are going to feel your unconditionally loving vibration. And it's going to really terrify them, like I was with my teacher initially, because here's the thing, a loving vibration, it can be really destructive to fear patterns, to unworthiness patterns, to not good enough patterns, right? So if someone close to you, or just someone you meet randomly, thinks that they are an old fear pattern, thinks they are their karma, or thinks that they are their conditioning of unworthiness, these old beliefs, if they think that they are those beliefs, they're going to be really scared and threatened by the unconditionally loving energy that you're emitting, that you're radiating, because that loving vibration is very destructive to fear, right? It really melts fear, dissolves it. And so if they think they're that pattern, they're going to be really triggered by you and want you to be away, and they're going to resist you strongly. And you might even feel like they hate you or something. But of course, that's always just a reflection, right, of how they feel about themselves. And this is an opportunity to really have compassion and to expand your capacity to love even more unconditionally and to see other people's resistance to you for what it is. And so many times, all it requires is just giving them the space that they need to process their own feelings of unworthiness and fear. And it's also about knowing that to not take it so personally, that that's not the truth of them. Because in essence, we are all love. That is our essence. That is every single living thing on this planet. The fabric, the the underlying essence of it all is love. So to see that when when this process of being ourselves around people gets a little messy, triggers people, causes people to really, almost feel like they hate us or they don't like us, to know that that's just their pain body being triggered up, and that it's a part of themselves that they have been trying to suppress and not see, but your vibration is bringing it up, it's triggering them, and they have to see it. So they associate you with, that bad feeling that's been triggered up by your loving vibration, and so they think that you're a scary person to be around. So have this compassion, and know that it's just an opportunity to, if you're getting a lot of their fear patterns in response to who you are, to just love that, unconditionally. And also, and like, because what you're doing is you're allowing the darkness to come home to the light, and you're giving them the space to heal when you're not reacting to how they're reacting to you, right? But here's the other thing. And when you do get triggered, say you have a close friend and you're just being yourself and they're resisting who you're becoming through this spiritual evolution, through this transformation, you're changing so rapidly, right? And that they are starting to become triggered by it because they, like I said, they're identified as this old pattern, and who you're becoming, this new self, is really scary for that pattern they perceive themselves to be. So they might react in all certain kinds of ways with they might say something mean to you. Say they say something mean to you, or they give you the cold shoulder, something like that, and you get triggered and you feel it, and it makes you feel horrible. Well, actually, this is a great time to say, thank you, God, for bringing me this person who triggered up an aspect of myself that I have not previously had the awareness to love, or that I didn't have the choice to love. And now that this other person has triggered up this aspect, now I have the opportunity to love it and to come into more completeness. And as you start integrating all these aspects, how people respond to you won't really matter anymore. It won't trigger you anymore, because you are so accepting of yourself. Because when someone triggers us, what's really going on is that's just an aspect of ourself coming up that hasn't been accepted, that hasn't been loved, right? And it really doesn't have much to do with them and their response to us at all. It's just really all about us and our internal work. And everyone's just kind of giving us a mirror. So when we are responding in that way, it's just always a chance to go deeper into self-love. So it's just like a win-win. Not only are you cultivating the capacity to be more unconditionally loving to everybody, even when they're in their karma, even when they're in their fear pattern, because you have the awareness to see that it's not their truth. It's just something that they're working through, right? And we go through it too. And on the other side, when you do get triggered by somebody, you get the chance to love yourself more. So it's a beautiful movement. And like I was saying, even when I went to go see my teacher Craig for the first time, there was part of me, I was still conscious of this. I could consciously see that there was part of me still identified with this unconscious fear pattern. And I knew seeing my teacher, I knew meditating with him was going to literally kill that part of me. And it was going to be really hard and really intense and painful. But there was the more aware part of me that knew that this was the path to walk to your fear, to walk into that ego death, we could call it, to go through with the meditation. And the meditation was was really painful, but it was beautiful at the same time because it was so liberating. And it just allowed me to fall into trust so much deeper. And so that's what I was saying. We all have done this, right? We all, sometimes we meet people that can trigger us, and and allow us to see, like, what are we identified with? Why am I becoming triggered here, right? And so the movement here is to just not take any of this personally and know that, yes, sometimes you're going to have these connections with people that are going to be so beautiful. And wow, that is a big bird flying above. I wish you guys could see it. Maybe you'll see it. Anyway, so we'll have connections that, yes, your hiring vibration and your expanded awareness is going to help people go deeper into their heart. It's going to help people know their truth deeper. It's going to help people to become more vulnerable and honest. And you're going to get that reflection. But then sometimes on the other side of it, you're gonna have people really resist you and not like you, right? And not accept you. It could be your family members, your friends, your coworkers. But to know that this isn't something that you need to take personally. And the more you connect with yourself, the less it matters what other people, what you don't really care that much anymore. You're just loving. Okay, I'm here. I'm gonna love you, whether you hate me or love me back. It doesn't matter. This isn't about, loving someone to get them to love you back. This is just about, you have so much love for yourself. Your cup overfloweth, that you are just giving and sharing love. And if it looks like a really connected experience with someone, beautiful. If it really triggers someone else and shows them a lot of their shit that they maybe didn't want to see quite yet, but that's just your role in evolution at that time and it just happened like that, beautiful. You take your personal, it just is an impersonal thing. This whole awakening is very impersonal. It's for everybody, right? And evolution, as you've seen in your own internal world, it looks so many different ways. Sometimes it's so divine, it feels so divine and blissful and connected. And other times it's just so messy and can even feel violent inside of you, right? And it can feel really dark and cold sometimes. And that's how it works when we start expanding into ourselves and in the world too. But everyone's here as a divine gift, whether they totally accept you and love you and are so amazed at your transformation and couldn't be happier for you and all the inner work you've done and all the healing you've done, or if they totally reject you and are almost like disgusted by you and hate you for it because it triggers up all their fears of, because they think that they're their patterns and you know what I mean? And it's just a lot for them to handle. That's divine too. They're both equally as beautiful when you zoom all the way out and see it all for what it is, just evolution. We're all just, like Ram Dass says, we are all just walking each other home. And it's just so beautiful to see, once you start loving yourself, how free you are, because you don't need the validation of others. And because you can see it for what it is, because say if you trigger someone, because you can see, oh, this isn't about me. This isn't a personal attack against me. This is just about what they're going through and their own healing process and their own healing journey. Well, then you let go of trying to the bitterness or the resentment or I'm going to not show him love anymore because he doesn't and she doesn't, they don't respond well, whatever, You just let go of that and you just see it for what it is, because you're not tied up in the, in the Maya, in the illusion of self. You're just this presence of love that doesn't need to be accepted by anyone. And then you're truly free, right? Then you're truly free to be yourself. You're truly free to just allow God, allow Source to live through you as you. And so, yeah, I hope that was helpful. This guy did way better today. He didn't run into the camera. Good job, Boppity. Thank you. Oh, you sleepyhead. I hope you guys have a great night. You'll probably be getting this later tonight. And I hope that this was helpful. I will see you on day 73. Namaste.